Bem-vindos de volta, vamos jogar The Longest Journey. E bem-vindos, o jogo também diz bem-vindos de volta porque já faz um bom tempo que eu não jogo. Charlie's Apartment, vamos dar uma olhada, não sei se eu já vi.
Charlie's apartment.
Sim, isso eu já sei. Toque, toque,
Nobody
toque.
home.
Tem ninguém em casa. Beleza. Ih, o gato quer entrar no meu quarto, o que eu faço?
Someone's staring at me.
Tem alguém te observando? Eu estou te olhando. Vamos descer as escadas. E vejamos. Vou falar com essa moça aqui, Fiona. Deve ser uma ogra.
Morning, Fiona.
Good morning, darling. You're up early.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep.
Are you feeling all right? You look a little pale.
I had a bad nightmare.
Mau pesadelo, hein?
Again? Well, you're not the only one, darling. Mickey woke me up screaming in the middle of the night. She wouldn't go back to sleep until I made her a cup of herbal tea.
Nightmares?
Apparently. But she refuses to tell me what they were. I think she's embarrassed.
That doesn't sound like Mickey.
I know, darling. Don't tell her I said so. But I've never seen her so agitated in my life. She scared the hell out of me.
I don't know why I have nightmares. I guess they could be stress-related. After all, the exhibition's right around the corner.
Oh, yes. The school exhibition. How's that going?
God, don't ask. I have no idea how I'm going to finish my painting on time. I haven't felt inspired in ages.
I think you work too hard, darling. You need to relax once in a while. Live. Enjoy your youth. There's inspiration to be found in hedonism, you know.
No, I don't know, but apparently you do.
I'm an authority on the subject, darling. Ask Mickey. She'll tell you I don't lift a finger around the place unless I absolutely have to.
Ok, onde foi todo mundo essa manhã? Você não deveria estar aproveitando o bom tempo? Posso te perguntar algumas questões? Melhor eu ir. Acho que eu... Sei lá, acho que pode ser
Can I
todas.
ask you a few
Mas vamos
questions?
lá.
Why, certainly, darling. About what?
Tell me about Emma.
Seja ela quem for Emma.
Emma? Why, she's your best friend, darling. I don't know what to tell you that you don't already know. You girls are so close.
That's true. The day we met, we clicked instantly. It was strange, but cool.
Like me and Mickey then, except for the sex, of course.
That's a pretty big except for Fiona.
Oh, I guess so. She's the crazy one, Emma is. Not crazy as in mad as a hatter, but crazy in a good way. Fun to be around.
Emma's always been a little weird.
Exactly, darling. She's a flirt, too, and the boys seem to drop like flies at her feet. No wonder. She's a real looker, I don't have to tell you. I'm sure she could have been a model if she'd wanted, but she's an artist, and a good one, too. I really think she'll be a successful artist. Her sculptures are getting a lot of attention.
Ok, só um minutinho, caras. Ok, tive que deixar o gato entrar. Tava fazendo muito escândalo. Vamos lá. O que você pensou quando me encontrou, quando nos
What did you
encontramos
think
pela
of me
primeira
when we
vez?
first met?
That's a peculiar question, isn't it? I thought you were quite lovely. I still do, darling.
Do you remember the day I arrived?
Of course, darling. It wasn't that long ago, and I'm not senile quite yet. It was in May, wasn't it? Charlie referred you to me, and you were quite at a loss. First day in the city, wasn't it? I remember. You looked like a lost puppy.
Puppy? Me?
When I saw you lugging that suitcase across the bridge, my heart went out to you. I'm glad you came here. You could have been lost anywhere else.
Ok. O que há com Jack Lee?
What's up with Zach Lee?
Zach?
Exactly.
I think we both feel the same way about him, darling. He's not actually a bastard. If he was, I'd have had him out of here in an instant. But he is an arse, and a stuck-up, pompous, arrogant wanker.
My thoughts exactly. Aside from that wanker bit.
Still, he pays his rent on time and he doesn't make a lot of noise. He keeps to himself. And most importantly, he's shit scared of me, so I can't just kick him out.
Ok. Então, o que descobrimos aqui? Tem uma melhor amiga dela que se chama Emma. Charlie. Eu me perdi o que era Charlie. Não, Charlie acabou de ser agora ou não? Não, peraí, isso tá muito estranho. Não.
How long have you known Charlie?
Isso aqui não foi
Oh,
ainda.
he's one of our oldest tenants. It's close to 3 years, I believe, since he moved in. Charlie is always in a good mood and he's such a gentleman.
I agree. He's an actual genuine gentleman.
And you don't see a lot of gentlemen these days, trust me. You have a very good friend in him, darling. Perhaps even more than a friend.
What do you mean, more than a friend?
Not for me to say, darling. If you don't realize it yet, you will.
Bobinha. Então, ela deve ser a dona desse prédio e tá falando dos inquilinos. Fale um pouquinho mais
Tell me a
sobre
little
você,
bit about
Fiona.
yourself, Fiona.
Me? Why? It's not much to say, darling. I love my job, I love Venice, and I love being with Mickey. I'm a happy girl. Sure, sometimes I wish I could go back to England to see my family, but that's water under the bridge, so to speak. I'm very happy with myself and my life here in Newport.
Ok, ela, pelo sotaque, obviamente já dava pra perceber, ela é inglesa, né? Você pode me contar alguma coisa sobre The Border House?
Can you tell me something about the border house?
That's one of my favorite topics, darling. What precisely do you want to know?
Vamos ver. O que a fez decidir gerenciar uma boarding house? O que inspirou o nome Border House? Você e Mickey são donos do lugar juntos? Obrigado pela informação. Vamos ver primeiro
What made
aqui.
you decide to run a boarding house?
That's a long story. One of the reasons Mickey and I got together was that we shared a passion for the classic English country inns. You know, quaint, weathered buildings, funny old ladies, and oddly suggestive names like the Lazy Cock.
So why come here to the big city? To America?
We wanted to create a place with a similar atmosphere and hospitality here in Newport. Like a safe house for people like you and I to call home, if only for a short while. So we discussed different options for a few months, and then we decided we wanted to start a boarding house for young, penniless students and artists.
You decided you wanted to do that here in Venice?
We knew that Venice was the place for us long before we came here, but the hard part was finding a building cheap enough.
And this building was available?
Not at first. Like most of the buildings in Venice, this one used to be a factory, but when we first looked at it, a local company was planning to turn it into a bar and nightclub. It was so perfect for our purposes, though, that we appealed to the Venice Borough Council, and after outlining our plans, they gave us the go-ahead at a reduced price, provided we kept our promises regarding our tenants.
Isso aqui é um bom jeito de aprender inglês, né? Não sei, eu gostaria de ver tudo. Bom, eu vou passar o máximo possível aqui porque deve ser importante, né? O que inspirou o nome
What
Border
inspired
House?
the name Border House?
That came quite naturally when we saw the place. It's on the border between two worlds, isn't it? Between Venice and the city itself. And at the same time, I also believe we're on the border between two more abstract worlds. Between art and spirit on the one hand,
Bom,
and
o jogo é
science and
sobre isso um
technology
pouco,
on the
pelo
other.
que deu pra perceber.
That's very poetic, Fiona.
Yes, I've practiced. I may be an inner city girl, but I can philosophize and bullshit with the best of them.
Do you and Mickey own the place
Vocês
together?
têm o...
We
São
own it
donos
together,
juntos?
yes, and we've shared the responsibilities between us. Mickey takes care of the maintenance of the building, and I busy myself with the administrative tasks. I also take care of the day-to-day management of our tenants, like deciding whether or not to let someone rent a room. And, of course, the unpleasant business of booting someone out.
I thought you enjoyed that part.
Yes, all right. In some cases I do, but not always. It can get quite messy.
Thanks for the information.
I'm glad I could help you out, darling.
Vamos ver... O que você quer... O que você tem a dizer sobre Veneza?
What can you tell me about Venice?
I don't really know much about the history of Venice. You should really ask someone with an interest in local affairs. What I do know is that this whole neighbourhood used to be an industrial area, and that about 100 years ago they converted most of the buildings into residences for students and the homeless. And it's a nice place to live, certainly. Friendly people, liberal attitudes, great clothing stores, quite perfect, aside from that dreadful stench from the canals in the summertime.
Ok, o que a gente sabe mais ou menos sobre Veneza? Qual a história por trás do meu apartamento?
What's the story behind my apartment?
Your apartment? It's more a room than anything else. Not much more than a large closet, really.
It's not that small.
It's one of our smallest rooms, but it's cheap and it's on a nice floor. I hope you're happy there.
I like it. It's convenient. And it's got an interesting view.
That's nice to hear, darling. As for the story behind it, no unexplained deaths or hidden pirate treasures, I'm afraid. Just a long string of students on a tight budget.
Ok, você gosta de Newport?
You like Newport?
The city? I stay in Venice most of the time. It's easy to forget we're just a tiny little pocket in the middle of a sprawling urban wasteland. But do I like it? I think Newport is one of the great cities of our age. Love it or hate it, you can't argue with that.
And which one is it? Love or hate?
I haven't decided yet, darling. Ask me again in another 15 years. Perhaps I'll have an answer then.
Não
I
tenho
don't
mais
have any more
questões
questions right now.
por agora.
Don't hesitate asking if there's something else you want to know.
Onde
Where's
está todo
everybody
mundo?
this morning?
Mickey's tied up in the basement. Mind you, she's not literally tied up, of course, although that is a tempting thought.
Are you getting into your sexual fantasies here, Fiona? Because it's a little too early in the morning for that, don't you think?
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
Peraí,
Anyway, the plumbing is... You probably noticed when you took a shower, yeah? There's no hot water. So Mickey's working on that. Getting knee-deep in putrid canal water is her job, thank God.
peraí, essa
What about
esse
Charlie?
Nick
Is he
é
up
mulher?
yet?
No, he's still sleeping, and Emma
nada
just went to
contra.
bed. I saw her come in when I was making breakfast. Do you know who she's seeing now?
I don't know. Some guy?
Those lads I see her with, darling. She's too good for those arseholes. I wish she'd find herself a man who'd treat her right for once.
She hasn't had much luck with love, no?
She's a magnet for creeps, and she's so pretty. They prey on her, you know, bastards.
I've tried to talk to her about it, but Emma's impulsive. She doesn't listen.
She's just as headstrong as you and me, darling, but I'm sure she'll be all right. She's smart and resourceful, and not afraid to speak up for herself.
Você não deveria estar lá fora
Shouldn't you be outside
aproveitando
enjoying the
o
good
clima?
weather?
You joking? Bollocks to that. I'll stay inside until September, thank you very much. It's too bloody hot.
Tá quente demais. Bom,
I'd better get going.
melhor eu ir embora.
Off to school.
Yeah, there are no more classes this semester, but I have to finish my painting by next Thursday.
For what it's worth, darling, good luck. And don't work too hard, all right?
Ok. Vamos ver se tem mais alguma coisa por aqui. Tem o quadro de avisos.
Be considerate. Keep the volume down after 11 p.m. Fiona. Pizza and movie night, Monday, July 31st. BYOS. BYO what? Soap? Common room, duty roster, July 27th. April and Emma. Oh, joy, manual labor, my favorite. San Francisco. I'd love to go there someday. Someday soon, hopefully. I can't tell what that note's saying as long as it's up there. Fiona's handwriting is not particularly legible.
Bom, pegamos aviso.
I'm sorry, but big sweaty jocks do not turn me on. I'll take a nerd any day. Annual summer blowout at the Fringe Cafe, Friday, August 4th, 8 p.m. Free food, live performances by Royne Dale, Harlequin Masquerade, The Go-Getters. Tickets available at the bar, $10 only. Spread the word. Look, it's Monkey Boy.
Acho que já deu, né? Temos no inventário essa anotação rosa.
Found a gold ring under the common room sofa. If it's yours, let me know. But no false claims, please. Fiona. I did lose a gold ring a few weeks ago. I hope this is the one. I'll have to ask Fiona about it.
Devia ter feito isso antes, né? Maravilha. Como é que eu saio daqui? Ok, saí. Vamos ver essa TV.
The omnipresent screen. I don't pretend to know how it works, but all the data apparently passes through tiny little black holes in the fabric of our dimension. You know, that really freaks me out when I think about it.
Perfeito. Então vamos...
That's Fiona, my landlady. She's all right.
Vamos falar sobre esse anel aí com ela. Acho que já tá
Hi.
bom pra encerrar o vídeo.
Hello, darling.
Can I ask you a few more questions?
I don't mind, darling. Ask away.
Ih! Ué,
Thanks for your help, Fiona.
You're welcome, darling.
ué.
Can I ask you a few more questions?
I don't mind, darling. Ask away.
Ih, mas...
Thanks for your help, Fiona.
You're welcome, darling.
Ai, ai.
See you later, Fiona.
Have fun, darling.
Engraçado. Esse... Ué,
Found a gold ring under the common room sofa. If it's yours, let me know. But no false claims, please. Fiona. They really knew how to design tacky furniture back in the late 22nd century. They really knew how to design tacky furniture back in the late 22nd century.
I saw this note on the corkboard.
aí sim, hein?
I think the ring might belong to me.
I'm sorry I have to ask, but could you describe the ring?
Sure thing. It says Sweet 16. My dad gave it to me. I think it was the only birthday of mine he remembered, or at least acknowledged.
Yes, that's the one. I found it under the sofa when I was vacuuming. Here you are, darling.
Mas... Me conta, o que você tava
Thanks.
fazendo que você perdeu o anel?
It's not worth much, but it's got a certain sentimental value for me.
O que você estava
It's a
fazendo no
very
sofá que
pretty
perdeu
ring.
o anel? Bom,
Yeah,
não vou
yeah, it is.
me meter nessas coisas,
My
né?
dad never gave me anything pretty before or since. He must have won a poker game or something that day. You know what's strange? I don't hate him. He's a bastard and he treated me like crap almost every single day of my life. But I don't hate him. I feel sorry for him.
Why?
Because he doesn't know how to love. He can't love anybody or anything. And because he'll be miserable every second of every minute of every day until the day he dies.
Puxa.
God, I'm glad that life is behind me. I hope I never have to see him again. No, that doesn't sound right. I've made a choice not to see him again. Ever.
Beleza, então descobrimos que ela tem problemas com o pai.
It's a chair.
Ah, boa dedução. Vamos ver isso aqui.
Emma
Mesa.
picked this table up at a flea market for $10 last month. That's $9 more than it's worth.
10 pila, hein? Puxa. Você tá sendo
It's a
injusta
chair.
com essa... Você tá sendo um pouquinho injusta. Bom, eu vou ficar por aqui. Não teve muita ação, foi só bate-papo com essa Fiona, mas tudo bem, né? Então, obrigado por assistir e até a próxima.